The internet's toughest smartwatch, the Carbinox. The Carbinox today we're looking at is the Blade Type S and Type R, which combines style, functionality, affordability, and most importantly, durability. Now, it doesn't matter if you are a Special Forces breacher, a SWAT police sniper. It doesn't matter if you're a lineman who's working on lines 400 meters above the ground, or you're a mechanic or a simple carpenter. This watch offers all the tech you'd need and the durability that you'd want. Today, we're going to put this watch through the ringer. We're going to do detailed, deep dive into the functionalities of the watch. Then we're going to see if it's just as tough as they say. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Chase, and this is all things random, mostly watch reviews with some random stuff sprinkled in between. Now, I've done a lot of reviews on watches throughout my tenure on YouTube, and I don't really do a lot of smartwatches because a lot of them kind of feel they're either overpriced and cheap feeling, or they're underpriced and even cheaper feeling. They don't offer the actual functionalities, and they're not really that durable. So, Carbinox, the reason I started looking at Carbinox is because I am a police officer in Alaska. And as a police officer and a crisis negotiator, I started to talk to other people that I work with, and I found that they wear Carbinox actually as a smartwatch on their wrist. They wear Apple watches and then Carbinox watches for work because of how durable they are. And that piqued my interest, and then I thought I would bring that to you. In this video, we're going to explore the features, the design, the overall performance of the Carbinox smartwatch to help you decide if it's the right fit for your lifestyle. Now, I'm going to harken back to something I just said, and the fact that other smartwatches that I've handled feel kind of cheap and chintzy, or they're just underpriced or overpriced, and they don't just hit the right price point. Now, when I first started handling these watches, I was very surprised at how heavy they were, how substantial they felt, not like heavy on the wrist, just how substantial they felt in the hand. And that really surprised me, especially because these things run at like $170. Link down below if you're interested. The unboxing experience with both watches were nice. The quality of the packaging is high, well fitted, and the watch face and case are displayed in the center of foam for protection. Underneath is an instruction manual placed in an envelope, a strap. These are rubber with quick release spring bars for easy strap changes, which I have here from Carbinox, as they offered additional straps for this watch. Also packaged is the charging pad. Even if the Type S or Type R both have two slightly different chargers, they both are going to work on either one. Now, one of the things that they do say is make sure that the watch is fully charged before its first use. In the instruction manual, which opens up accordion style, gives clear and concise instructions on the setup, offering a QR code on the manual as well as the watch face once you start it up. Download the Carbinox app, register and sign in, and connect the watch via Bluetooth. The instructions also show you the watch gestures, the touchscreen functions, as well as the physical buttons along the outside. The watch is fairly intuitive with features like dual GPS system, a smart compass, an altimeter, a barometer, and over 170 sports modes with a variety of health sensors and Bluetooth calling. Really, it takes some time to figure out the watch, but that's like getting a new phone. You need to mess with it for quite some time, but once you figure it out, it's very easy to go back. For instance, when you're looking at the sport mode settings, well, it doesn't display all 170 plus sports modes right off the bat, but when you scroll down to the bottom, you see it says add a new mode. So once you press that, it allows you to go through, and in subcategories gives you like extreme sports. So if you want to do an example that I have here is bungee jumping. It offers the ability to put a sport mode on your watch for bungee jumping, or even here for parkouring. So you can have a sport mode for parkouring. So you can add as many sports modes as you want, or remove as many sports modes as you want. So it just doesn't clutter up the main functionalities of the watch. The body of the watch is crafted from premium zinc alloy and third generation Gorilla Glass. Now, this is similar to me when you look at a normal watch like sapphire glass, and the fact that when you use something like a screwdriver or a knife, it just glides across the top and doesn't scratch it, doesn't dent it, or doesn't chip it at all. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't be scratched or it can't be dented or it can't be broken, but it's extremely durable and it's extremely hard to do so. Like, even if this sapphire on my Rolex Explorer 2 is scratch resistant, the only thing that doesn't scratch this is a diamond similar to the Gorilla Glass, especially the 3rd generation. Now, that being said, if I drop this in a certain way on a rock, it could shatter. And it's similar to the Gorilla Glass on your Carbinox smartwatch. If I hit it hard enough with a hammer, then of course it's going to break. If I drop it from a skyscraper, it's going to shatter on the ground. But the impact that it can take is well above the norm when it comes to other smartwatches. I would say it's probably 3 or 4 times impact resistant than your standard smartwatch, even with additional protection added on, like an additional case or an additional screen protector. This thing is going to last a long time, and it's going to look great for even longer. Now, they say this is the toughest watch that they've ever engineered. So I decided again to put it through the ringer. Now, outside of the screen being impact resistant, is of course able to take minor blows from things like hammers, but like I just said, don't get too crazy because eventually you'll use enough force to break it. Now, that being said, it's the scratch resistant that I'm happy with because when you work around car engines, I specifically wear this as a police officer at work, which means it's constantly getting banged around with almost no signs of wear. Now, let's discuss the wearability of these watches because, like a lot of smartwatches, they don't fit small on the wrist, they fit very proud and prominent. So let's talk about the sizes. Now, first, the Type S. This thing, because it's squared, I measured it at 42 millimeters across in width, 49 millimeters in height, and this has a case thickness of 13 millimeters, a lug to lug of 56, and a lug strap width of 22 millimeters. The Type R is slightly different because of its rounded shape. It comes in at 47 millimeters in diameter, again, the same thickness of 13 millimeters, a 53 millimeter lug to lug, so it sits slightly larger on the wrist, and again, a 22 millimeter lug width. That being said, these watches are going to wear slightly larger, but they're meant to wear slightly larger, right? These are for the adventurer, these are for the outdoorsmen, these are for the hunters, these are for the mechanics, these are for the people in the military, right? These are for people who want durability in their watch and don't mind it sitting prominently on the wrist. Now remember, this watch is a tool, and it acts as a very reliable tool. Now, some of the cool features of the watch includes a built-in AI voice assistant. This, paired with your smartphone, you can text and make hands-free phone calls, use voice commands, so you don't need to stop whatever you're doing, making life all around easier. Now, specifically, I'm a big fan of the sports modes and the health tracker. I'm 40 years old, and as a 40-year-old man, I am past my average midlife stage when it comes to being middle-aged. I surpassed that a couple years ago, and really my fitness, to me, is something I need to track more than almost anything else. So I'm extremely excited about all the health sensors that are offered on this. Now, those include heart rate, stress levels, an oxygen monitor, and sleep tracking that are just a few that are offered. And again, so many sports modes that no matter what you're into, they absolutely have it. This is something I was surprised about the most. Now, I was surprised the most, again, with how many features are offered on this watch at a price point of $170. And again, Carbinox prides themselves on the durability aspect, and they truly have given you, the consumer, a very durable smartwatch. Now, these smartwatches come in at just under 80 grams. So it does have a substantial weight, but it's not so much that it becomes cumbersome. In fact, when you put it on the wrist, even though it's slightly larger, they wear very, very comfortable. And with the rubber straps that they offer, and even the additional straps that they offer, these things are extremely comfortable, right? They wrap around your wrist, they can form around your wrist, they sit very, very well. With the sensor here on the back, it sits in that nook of your wrist absolutely perfectly, and It doesn't disappear on the wrist because it's not light, it's not invisible, but it is just extremely comfortable to wear. And when you wear a watch for anywhere from 10 to 15 hours a day, you need it to be comfortable. And in fact, one of the things I do like about the Carbinox watches, whether or not it's the Type S or the Type R, is the fact that you can wear them for anything or whatever you're doing. These things have a water resistance rating of 50 meters. So again, you can go swimming in it. In fact, that's one of the sports modes that you can choose is swimming. So you don't have to worry about any type of water resistance or getting wet. The everyday wear is the most important thing to me. If I'm going to wear it all day, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to put it on my wrist, and then I'm going to wear it throughout my day. I'm going to go to the gym and wear it and not worry about it. I am going to go to work as a police officer and a crisis negotiator, and I'm not going to worry about it no matter what. And that is, to me, the most important thing, because I've gotten into a lot of knockdown, drag out fights, and I've been on the ground fighting with people, and I have, in the past, not this Rolex, but my Rolex Kermit Submariner that I was wearing at work actually chipped the edge of the sapphire, and I had to spend like $1,000 to have it replaced. It's not the same with this. If you look, the bezel is slightly raised. This is a zinc alloy, a metal case, and it protects that glass along with a third generation Gorilla Glass. So if it's down on the ground and it's being scratched up, the only thing that's going to scratch up is the bezel, which is again higher than the glass. I think this thing is just hell of a bang for buck when it comes to smartwatches and durability. And for me, the most important thing always comes down to affordability. It really does, especially for the average everyday person. Whenever the new Apple Watch comes out, it's extremely hard to go spend $600 or $700 on something that you can easily break, because you can. Yes, they do have a durability standard, but not as high as Carbinox does. And you could buy 4 Carbinox watches for the price of one new lower end Apple Watch. And this thing has so many functions and features. Again, when I found out that a few of my colleagues already wore these watches, that was the intriguing factor to do a review and say, okay, I'll take a look at them. I'll see how good they are, and I'll give my own personal opinion in the review. And I think they're just absolutely great. I think they're offering so much for so little that you're hard pressed to find something better. In fact, I would love you guys down in the comments below to tell me what you think would be a better alternative that's tougher than Carbinox. I want to hear your opinion, and maybe I'll bring them on for review. Anyway, I'm Chase. This is All Things Random, mostly watch reviews. If you are still here, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, but it does allow me to do more of these reviews. Hit the notification bell. If you're interested, down below, check out Carbinox in the description. The holidays are right around the corner. This is a great gift, again, for that hard worker in your life or even yourself. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.